This was a relatively quiet week in the mortgage market, but I want to just run through the news with you and also give you a heads up on the important items we're going to see next week. We had a lot of government bond auctions that took place, almost $200 billion between 2, 5, and 7-year note auctions. Basically, imagine the government's borrowing money from investors like you and me, and these investors are buying government bonds, which are basically IOUs. Then the government, basically, like I said, just sold almost $200 billion worth of bonds in 2, 5, and 7-year terms. And by selling these bonds, the government is essentially taking out a loan from us. Now, the terms like 2, 5, and 7 years mean the government promises to pay us back in that amount of time. And this auction basically helps determine two things: how easy it is to buy and sell these bonds, liquidity, and the interest rate that the government pays, like a loan. The easier it is to buy and sell these bonds, the more liquid the market is. The lower the interest rate the government pays, the cheaper it is for them to borrow money. Now, we saw a strong retail sales figure this week, basically a sign of strength in the economy, which could push out any rate cuts by the Fed. We got builder confidence, that's still high, and we're seeing less builders reduce prices, and they're offering fewer incentives, basically the result of high demand, which is supportive of home prices, which is good for homeowners. Fed members keep saying they're going to be patient, which means basically higher interest rates for longer. Hopefully we don't follow Japan's footsteps. They're considering rate hikes now because of higher inflation that they're seeing. And on that note, the PCE report, which is the Fed's favorite measure of inflation, came in today, and it was not great, but could have been worse. I'll be keeping an eye on rising oil prices because that does tend to bleed over and lead to inflation in other sectors. But again, the likelihood of a Fed rate cut in June is way down, with inflation remaining high and signs that the economy is doing pretty well. But these numbers could be misleading. Next week will be important, and we're going to see how this inflation read impacts Fed policy. As always, I'm here if you have any questions or if I can help in any way. If you've got 2 minutes, I did include a meeting in a box that goes over all the other things we do to help grow your business beyond just market updates. So have a great weekend. I'll be back next week with an update from the Fed statement and press conference, as well as updated job numbers. Have a great weekend.